Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for another Market Monday craft with me. So today I'm going to play with some of the stuff that's in this week's kit. You don't have to have this week's kit to do what I'm doing today. You can just substitute whatever it is that you have at home and it will work just fine. So my husband had surgery on Monday last week and I had to quickly put some things together, and I had these things set aside to maybe do a Market Monday craft with me, and I thought I'm going to take them with me. So I just threw what I had set aside in a bag and took it with me, and this is what I've done so far. So I just used a piece of the yarn and I put it across here, and I think that's called I couched it down. I think that's what they call it, is couching. You just take your needle and thread and just go around it to hold it down. So I did that. I made a yo-yo flower. I put a piece of the lace curtain on there, and then a piece of the burlap, and one of the little they're not really inchies because I think they're 1.5 inches, but they're about 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, that one is. So I put one of those on top, and then I used some pretty blue thread, and I tried a few French knots, did it okay, and then just some slow stitching on there. And then I just stitched the corners there and the corners on here and then the sides on there. And that's as far as I got. And then it's time to come home, which was a good thing. So anyways, I just, like I said, I had set aside a few things that there was extra of, and so that I could try and do a Market Monday. And let's see, a couple things that I did want to show you about, like if you want to cut burlap, I wanted to cut a real, a good square. So what I did was I just went in and I pulled a thread out here and here, because that will give me straight lines. And to do that, just make sure you pull only one thread. If you try and pull two, they're woven like over and under and over and under, and then the next one is done just the opposite. So if you try and pull two, they all kind of lock together. So you want to make sure that you grab just one thread and go ahead and start pulling. And then along your edges, you're going to want to hold on to the thread that goes the opposite way so that you don't pull that. Like I pulled it out a little bit because I grabbed it. Give it a pull and then straighten your fabric out. That moves the thread down here so you're not still trying to pull through that whole bunch. But if you can see, now right here is where I pulled that thread out so far, and right here is where the thread still is. So again, just now I'm going to hold down this side and just pull that thread out. And now I have a nice straight line to cut along. So that's a good way to cut burlap, just like with regular fabric. If you want a good straight line, and you're just going to rip it so that it will rip right along I don't know what they call that, but fabric has the weave, and it will cut right along there. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut along those lines I had already done there, because it'll just give me some strips. And then also, if you want a little bit of burlap string and you don't have any, if you have a piece of burlap at home, you can go ahead and just pull a piece of that string out, and now you've got a little piece of burlap string. So I do that sometimes too, and I always usually save a lot of the burlap string that I pull out so that I can use it later, and I just wrap it around something. And I'm going to grab one of these here to give myself a longer piece of burlap. I thought maybe I might want to tie a bow, and I think that would be long enough to do that. Not sure. Alrighty, and I'm not really sure what to do with the velvet. I thought that because this is all so light right now, I kind of thought I wanted to put a piece of that velvet behind that lace. And I just thought that that might be kind of cool to put that behind there. I'm going to cut a piece of it. What about putting it just across the bottom there? Maybe, let me see, the other piece is a little thinner. Maybe I want this thinner piece. Just trying to cut the plastic so that if I decide I don't want to use it, I haven't peeled it off and have to try and put it back on there. Although I could put it along the edge there, that would have worked. Let me see. What if I start at the edge? I'm just not good with this fabric stuff, but it's just really fun. So I just really want to try it because it's different. I kind of think I like that. It's really dark, but the gray thread that the gray yarn that I couched in up there, that's kind of dark. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put that right there. It's up a little bit more than 1/2 inch maybe. And I'm going to use the whole thing. Originally I thought maybe I would just put it under the lace, but I think I like it going all the way across. Okay, let's see. And I say across, but I think I'm supposed to be saying across. So for those of you that it drives crazy, I'm really sorry about that. It's just such a habit. I think I like that there. And because that's so strong, I don't even think I need to do anything to it. I could stitch on it if I want to with a light colored thread. But the other thing I wanted to try and do was, here's the blue thread that I was using, and this is, you'll have a hard time seeing it, I'm sure. But it's very shiny, and I wonder if I can kind of make it, like it's more than one piece of, it's kind of like a silky thread. I mean, it's not really silk, it's like nylon or something, but I don't know if you can see this or not, but wait a minute, would it show better on the black? Maybe. See how many pieces, there's a lot of pieces of that thread there, and then it's like all woven together. So when I did this one, when I threaded it, because there was no way I could thread the end, because no matter what, I was splitting it. When I watched Sonia thread a needle, she takes her thread, which, I'll take that out. Now we'll see if I can do this or not. Might as well take a decent sized piece because I'll probably use it later. And there is a little notch here that you can pull your thread into. So that's really awesome to be able to wrap those around there and then hook it on so it doesn't come unwound. But it gets too messy here on the end. And so when Sonia does it, she folds her thread in half. And then, where's the eye? I have to put my glasses on. Okay, and then she like pulls it down tight on her needle and then pulls it off and then takes the eye. And I lost the eye, there it is. And then pushes that up through the eye of the needle. And look, that works really well. So especially with something like this that wants to just split and split, that's an awesome way to do it. I always like to double my thread whenever I'm doing it. And the reason that I like to double my thread is because if I only tie a knot in one side of it, then I'm always pulling it completely. I pull my needle off the thread. So, yeah, maybe I will just, I'm going to have to go back and watch Sonia for some fancy stitches because she has all kinds of really cool, like, fancy stitches. And I think that's really awesome, too. But I forget them. I've been practicing the French knot. And so that's why that's up there, because I remember how to do that. But I don't remember any of the rest. So I'm just going to kind of go on an angle along the edge of the lace curtain just to give it some color there and to hold down that bottom side. And also when I put these on here, I put a little bit of stick glue on there and then set that on top of it. I did the same with the burlap and with that. Because trying to hold them on there while I'm trying to sew them, if they're loose, it just, for me, I have such a hard time. Everything winds up crooked and puckered and everything else. So I just put a little bit of stick glue on there, not much, but it was enough to just kind of hold it in place while I was, just like this is held in place by being stuck down with the sticky, because that's sticky on one side, that velvet is. So, and that's making my needle sticky. So it probably wasn't a good idea for me to sew through it. Which is not a big deal. A little bit of rubbing alcohol. Ooh, I have some hand sanitizer here. That might work. So there, just kind of tack it down. Just very messy. I think that's what I like about, like, they do the slow stitching and they just kind of, now granted, a lot of them do really beautiful slow stitching, but a lot of people just kind of, you know, I mean, they make their stitches about the same size, but they don't worry about whether they're perfect or not. And the difference of them, to me, I think is pretty cool. So I'm going to hold that there. I'm going to try putting a little bit of, okay. See if that will get that sticky off my needle while I'm thinking about it, because otherwise I won't think about it later, because I want to try and make a tassel, because I think it'd be cool to have a tassel on there. Oh, one of those white things I do. Use that to hold it. There we go. There. That got the sticky stuff off. Yep. Alrighty. Let's stick this back in here. And let's try and make a tassel. So, because this is like a really thin thread, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to do it. I just kind of want to grab a section of it that I think would be about, oh, you know what? I'm going to rethread my needle with I had white thread here already on there. Okay, I'm going to try, because I'm going to want to sew around it, I think, after I pull it out. And I don't want to set it down. So I'm going to try and thread this needle. I'm going to try it the same way. That really does work really good. Thank you, Sonia, for that. That is awesome. Threading the needle, I think, is one of the hardest things to do in sewing. No, using a sewing machine for me. That's the hardest thing in sewing. Don't like that. Okay. I'm going to put that right there and then try and pull out a bunch of these. And I'm just going to sew around them to hold them together, and then I'll wrap something around them. Got some fuzzies on it. I think that's probably about as much as I might want. Put those aside. When I saw these at the recycle store, that was the first thing I thought of was, ooh, that would make a good tassel. I'm going to hold that like that. And I'm going to go around it, but because I can't sew a knot into this thread, I'm going to take my needle and I put the knot in both sides of the thread. So I'm going to go in there just above that knot so that now that will hold it. There we go. And just go around quite a few times to keep it nice and tight. And then I'll put a knot around there. Like that. Maybe another one, since it's a tassel and I'm holding it together. Maybe I want to make sure it's really solid. Whoop. Okay. All right, so now we've got our tassel here. Oh, you know what I should have done? Before I folded it in half, I should have put a thread through there, but that'll be okay. I'll be able to do that. I want to figure out what I want to do to go around there. And then I'll trim the bottom. I wonder if I can, see, what do I have here? Oh, paintbrush. I'm going to see if I can kind of go through here. But I want to thank you all very much for watching my videos. And I really want to apologize to all those who have left a comment and I have not answered you yet, or I just answered you yesterday and you asked me questions a week ago. I've been really busy trying to get ready for, our local art gallery is having a Christmas fair, and so I'm going to put some stuff in there, and I'm just kind of, because this is the first year that I was invited to do this, I'm being, you know, like I have to do the displays, and it's just been so busy. And then I'm doing a fair with my niece also. I'm trying to figure out what color I want to. I think I'm going to use this one. My niece does a craft fair at her church, so I told her I would do that with her because we've always done that together. So I've just been swamped. But my display in the gallery goes up on Wednesday. So once that goes up, I'm done with that, you know. So I should be able to answer my comments a little bit quicker than what I have been. But I do apologize because I love your comments and I have to figure out how to get this through there. And I really do appreciate all of you leaving all of your lovely comments. And I love your questions and your suggestions on other things to do. So, you know, please keep them coming and accept my apology for how long it's taking me to get back to you. But just trying to get things all figured out. And I think I'm getting there. There, we got that through there. Okay, tie this off so I don't lose it. And then I'll decide exactly what I want to do with it later. I think I'll probably tie a knot in the top of it also. But I could just leave this folded part because I put it through there folded. Or I could just tie this and this together, which I think is probably what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut that long. And then I'm going to use this to wrap around here because I think that that would look really good. Oh, that's only a piece. That's the piece I just cut off. Alrighty. There we go. And then just wrap it around till it's as thick as I think I want it. But yes, thank you very much for all of your lovely comments and really great suggestions. If there's a video that you like and you're thinking, what else could I do with that? Read the comments because there are so many people that leave really great comments about how they would do it, or other things that they have done, you know, like what we did in that video. And so there's really great suggestions for you to look at in the comments. So it's another really good place to, I think I like that. So I'm going to thread this on the needle, which I'm not sure what I did with it. It's probably on the floor. There it is. Now let's see if I can do this or not. Take the white thread out. I'm going to wind it up tighter so that I can hold it while I'm trying to thread the needle. And then I'll unwind it so it's long enough to get the needle through. Okay, I'm going to bend that over. Pull it up tight. Have to find the eye. Try that again. Okay, just because I said it was easy a little bit ago, now it's not going to want to cooperate, but it is very easy. It makes it stiffer so that it goes through the eye of the needle easier. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to unwind it a few. Get you out of my way. There we go. I want to make sure that it's long enough to go through a couple of times. Try not to lose that little tail of a thread. I'm going to go all the way through. Oops. Okay. Well, it's all the way through there. It's nice and tight. So now what I'm going to do, since I broke it and can't knot it, I'm going to put some glue on it. Just run it across the glue a few times and wrap it around there. I think that that will hold it pretty good. There we go. I really like that, and I like the size of this yarn for a tassel. I'm going to put this in there. I'm going to shorten this up a little bit. Maybe, and do it in steps. If you think you're not sure how long you want it, try it, and then if you want it shorter, you can always shorten it. But if you cut it too short to start with, you can't lengthen it up again. You could always make another one, though. And let's see, in comparison to the size of everything here, oh, it definitely goes down here. And I think I want it just a little bit shorter, not a whole lot shorter. Well, or do I? See, I made the top pretty tall, so I don't want this to be as short as the top. So I think I'll go right about there. There, I like that. I think I'm going to hook that on there somewhere. And then don't forget, you can always glue these to something. I know that sounds weird, but glue it onto something and then paint over top of it. some really cool texture. So I think that that is probably, because we've been here for a while, I really just kind of wanted to show you some of the things I was playing with, and I wanted to tell everybody thank you for your comments, so I thought I'd just come on here and play with this a little bit. I think I'm going to try and put this under here. And then this, I think, you know, like things like this, they'd make really cute book covers. There. I like that there. Do I want it to be attached? I do not. And I think one of those has a loop, so I'm going to cut that loop. And I'm going to fold that over. And I think I'm going to take a little piece of this. I wonder if I shape it like a really tall, skinny diamond. Go from the center to the center. Now we'll have to see if I can get the plastic off the back. Yeah, that's what I want to do if I can get the plastic off the back. I made this really tiny for one thing. And it is fibers, so whether or not I'm going to peel it apart as I'm trying to get the plastic off, I don't know. But I think I have a flow journal that I pulled out that I think I'm going to put this on the front of. And I think I'm going to sell the journal. It is, some people call them flow journals, naked journals. Basically, it's a journal with a cover that is full of papers that you can use in that journal or in any other crafting that you want to. I like that. Okay, so let me move this stuff aside. See, I think that that would be cool on the front of a journal. Now, maybe a little something more behind it. Like some of this lace, maybe. Ooh, I think that would look pretty. And then put that on there like that. Yeah, that might be pretty cool. I think I like that. Maybe a little blue or something around the edges of here first. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell this journal for $25. And so you will get the little thing that I have started. But you could always add much more to that. And we'll take some of these things that we've just used to make this, and we'll put that in there too, so that if you decide you want to embellish that even more, you can do that. I'm gonna put a few of these circles in here. I grabbed a whole stack of them to take with me, so I do need to keep them because I'm in the middle of a project, but I'm sure I could miss a few, and it won't hurt. So we'll put some of those in there. And we'll put these 4 bobbins in there. And we've got a few of these. So I'm just going to take these things. I thought about putting that on there. Now that I've added the black, actually. First I thought it was too dark. But just one of those strands might be really cool. Or it would make maybe a cool spine dangle. So there's a couple of those. And some of the black parts. And some... This muslin has an orange spot on it because I was painting around it. But I'm going to put that in there anyways. See, it matches this. And there's some more of the velvet. And some of the yarns. And I'll put these in a baggie, but I'm going to put some of these rubbers in here for needle pullers, but I want to keep a few for myself too, because that was the first time I'd ever seen those small ones. And I really like them. I use them quite a bit. So, but there we go. I'm going to put all of this together and put it in an envelope. And if you are interested in purchasing this flow journal, you can just let me know. I'll put my email below. First come, first serve. And PayPal, United States, because of the shipping cost. And I'm just totally like, my mind is on so many different things right now. But there we go. So this pile of little bits, along with the flow journal and the cover that can go on there. I really like it with the lace on it, but you'll decide what you want to do with it when you get it. So we're going to put that with the pile. And then just to run through the flow journal really quick, the first signature was in here already. This is about 1 inch wide, 2 signatures, corrugated cover, banded to hold the signatures in. And the first signature was already in here. I added the second signature, and I did not cut them down because I thought you may want to take them out or whatever. And if you want to put them in a certain order, there's no point in cutting them down now until you know what order you want to put them in. But this is napkin with plastic wrap ironed onto regular copy paper. This is corrugated paper that just went through one of those corrugated machines. This is also napkin, plastic wrapped to regular, that looks like it's tea dyed, and you just iron the napkin, plastic wrap in the middle, your paper on the other side, use parchment under and over. This one is a jelly print. This is crinkle paper, orange and red. This one's got a little tear in it because you get it wet before you crinkle it. Wallpaper. The glue side of the wallpaper, the glue side of another piece of wallpaper, because I can feel that, and another piece of wallpaper. And this one, I can't tell you what it is. I love it. I don't know what it is, to tell you the truth. I remember doing it. I remember thinking that didn't work. And then after it dried, I thought, ooh, one side's a different color than the other. But I don't remember how I did it. So, this is paper. I don't know how I made it. It is something that I made, but it is lighter on one side than it is on the other. I'm just amazed by it, and I'm still trying to figure out how I did that. And then we have the second side of all of those. And then the second signature. The second signature is, I believe that this is, I'm not really sure. I think it's paint dyed, and it has a leaf pattern just there, nice and lightly on the front of that signature. And then we have a piece of tea dyed tissue paper, a piece of paint dyed paper. This is Kool-Aid dyed paper, and it's got a couple of leaves on there. This is paint dyed paper, and this one has these little things. You can take this off and see what it looks like between, because this is actually 2 bits of paper, but this is one of my favorites. I love the looks of that. the green and the pink together. It's just because it was painty paper, and that's how it turned out. This is a piece of Oklahoma clay dyed paper, tea dyed legal size piece of paper with doilies, so that's folded back for the extra paper. This is marker paper, watercolor paper, hand dyed. This is a tea dyed doily with the bottom cut off so it would fit. This is Kool-Aid dyed pink paper, which had a really pretty leaf print here. And so I put that one in the center. And then again, just the second half of those. So there are 10 pieces of paper. Oh, and that one is legal size also. So that's folded back to give a pocket there. There's 10 pieces of paper in each signature, which makes each signature have 40 sides. And so there are 80 sides in there. But it's not just to use as a journal. You can, but it's also can be used to take those pieces of paper out and use them on something else that you may wish to put them on. So that is, and I think I might have said 25 at the beginning. That's not what I meant to say. I meant to say 20. So if I said 25, that's wrong. It's $20, and it will include the start of a cover for the journal, the flow journal, and all of these little bits that we just put in there. Oops, and this blue thread too. So thank you very much for stopping by and watching. I really do appreciate it, and I really appreciate you. Thanks again, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.